Hi everyone, how's it going? I'm just relaxing at the moment. I've got some readings to do, but apart from the readings, I'm not really doing very much today, doing some laundry in the background. I don't know why it's not circling. I'm sure it will in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to come online. Not necessarily to explain myself, but some of the thoughts that I had this morning, it really had my mind ticking over. And it's one of the symptoms of ADHD, overthinking. Allow me, okay? So I talked about hopelessness, and I talked about how people put too much stock in having hope in things. And I think I said something on my status along the lines of hopelessness is important, or I try every day to abandon hope. Hope is one of those things where it's literally like a medicine that you administer to a person. If you administer it in like small pieces, it like how do I put it? For me, like, hope is like nightshade. A little bit can help you sleep, a little bit can help you relax, a little bit can help you function, have you refreshed for the day ahead, the next day. But just like nightshade, too much hope can actually kill you. It's just like things like arsenic, like cyanide, like these things are trace nutrients that are literally found in nature. They're trace nutrients that can be literally found in the body, if I'm not mistaken, right? So a little bit of those things, like the tiniest bit of those things, can be wonderful, but a lot of it, or large quantities, can be extremely harmful and can be poisonous. For me, hope is the same way. And this is the thing about the society that we live in. They overload us with fear, but they overload us with hope at the same time. Because it's like when you don't have hope, you're in a horrible situation in which you know you're going to drown. But when you have hope, you fight harder against a situation that you have no hope in winning anyway. So the purpose of hope in a world like this is to keep us praying, to keep us inactive, to keep us placid enough in the hope that something will come and save us from our situation. So I always think that too much hope is dangerous. Too much hope, it creates the world that we live in, just like too much fear does. Too much fear has us, literally weaponizing everything we do in order to survive, weaponizing everything about who we are in order to survive. And, what hope does is that, it puts the onus of personal responsibility and doing good in the world in someone else's hands. We don't realize that's what it does, but that's what it actually does. Like, too much hope, which is what this world likes to create in us, it basically encourages us to outsource personal responsibility for the world that we actually want to live in. That's what too much hope does. When we have too much hope, we don't try. And if we don't try, we end up envying other people who do try, who do have things. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I was literally one of those people that had too much hope. And it almost killed me, like I said on my Facebook. It almost killed me for the anger, the guilt, the self-hatred, the fucking envy, the shame, the grief. Because hope is what kept me inactive. Like, too much hope is what kept me inactive and what kept me wishing and hoping and praying rather than doing. When you abandon hope that things will get better, and when you abandon hope that things will work out the way that you want them to, what happens is that you start to look around you and you start to realize what you actually have. And you start to think to yourself, I might not achieve my dreams. I might not get what I want in this life. But I have so many things around me that I can use. You can be the poorest person in the world and still have resources. And I know it sounds wildly problematic to say, but if you are alive, in a third dimensional reality, you'd be surprised at the resources you can use. People in African countries prove that all the time. And I don't mean, oh, Africa's poor. Like, Africa is not fucking poor, okay? It's just that many of the tribes and communities in Africa, they knew how to work with nature because they knew how to use what was already around them and to become resourceful with what was already around them. It's like in some African communities, I'm not saying all of them, but in some African communities, they don't have a lot because they don't need a lot. It's us that put into other communities that you need money to do this and money to do that. Them people ain't stupid. They know how to use what they have with the resources around them. Through a little bit of hope. Not massive amounts of hope that tells you can conquer the world because of who you are or, you know, how you were born or where you came from. Do you understand what I mean? They have a little bit of hope and masses of ingenuity because they're able to use what's around them to their advantage. When you give up having hope as an addiction, you start to look at what you have. You start to think about yourself realistically. Think about your skills realistically. Okay, this is what I want. But what do I know? How can I use my knowledge to get what I want and to achieve what I want? So that is the gift that abandoning hope gives you. Do you understand what I mean? Sometimes you've got to go cold turkey, give up hope altogether for at least a short while. And then kind of, you know, you have to abandon hope because, you know, when you abandon it, you're like, you know, you'd be surprised at how much anger that takes away from you. How much bitterness that takes away from you. Because all you're left with is you. And as it turns out, just you has a lot to offer the world. It has so much to offer the world. That's another thing that hope keeps you from. Realizing what you already have and realizing how powerful you already are. It is wild. This one thing that is supposed to be good, that is supposed to be wonderful for us, can actually be massively unhealthy, especially in large quantities. Hope in another thing or, you know, achieving another dream. If I get this thing, then I'll be happy with who I am. If this happens, I'll be happy with my life. If that happens, then everything will be all right again. That is the purpose of hope, to keep us wanting that thing that is just beyond our reach. Not all the way beyond our reach, not all the way. Because then we'd be like, nah. But just within our reach. Or just without our reach. If I can just get that thing. Keeps you on a treadmill. Hope keeps you on a treadmill that leads to nowhere. If I can just get that thing. If I can just be that person. If I can just have that life. Then I can get what I want to get. It's like me. Right? There are certain things that I want to accomplish in my life. And I'm over here thinking that gang stalking or ending gang stalking is going to help me do that. But what if, okay, just what if I can actually achieve those things and get those things and keep those things that I want to keep without gang stalking ending? What if it was actually possible to do that? And the truth of the matter is, it is possible. It's possible that gang stalking can continue and I can have the success that I want. I can have the things that I want without gang stalking having to end. And this is not me being hopeful. This is not me being optimistic. That's the reality of the situation. Now, the truth of the matter is, because of the gang stalking, I can only have what I want in certain ways. So that's what I have to be prepared for. That's what I have to be realistic about. I can only have what I want in certain ways. And I have to find a way to get what I want using the knowledge that I have. But, you know, at the same time, me being prepared for how evil gang stalking can be, and me being prepared for how much it is willing to hurt me, to debilitate me, to kill the people that I love, knowing all of these things, it prepares me in some ways so that even when I die, I'm prepared for what might happen. Being prepared, practicing, and preparation, all of these things are so important. That is way more important than hope. That's way more fucking important. But what's the point in doing this if you don't have hope? Like I said before, like, you only need a little bit. You don't even need it at all. All you need to do is accept what your situation is. The quicker you accept your situation, this is the irony of the situation, right? The quicker you stop hoping that something good will happen, is the more you see the situation for what it is. And the more you see the situation for what it is, the more you can use what's around you in order to actually get the results you want. Don't hope for what you want. Fucking know what you want. And another thing about hope is that it keeps you in the mindset of you having to be something else, somewhere else, or with somebody else to get what you want in this life. Hope keeps you infantilized. It arrests your development. But people should have hopes and dreams. For what? For what? Look at the damage these things have caused. Look at the damage these things have caused. Hopes and dreams are based in illusion. Look at the harm illusion causes. Look at the harm it's caused the planet. I'm using a washing machine right now. Do you know how much water and how much fucking heat that thing uses? Do you know how much damage to the planet is being done even with an energy efficient washing machine? All these conveniences that we have around us is to maintain the illusion that the world isn't what it is. That's what hope does to people. It destroys the fucking planet. It makes people think that we're better than we are and that there's nothing that we really need to do, and we can just put it in the hands of a handful of people who wouldn't piss on the rest of us if we were on fire. Do you know what I mean? That's what hope does. Too much hope, especially, it poisons people. It poisons people. So no, I choose not to hope. I choose not to dream. Because to hope and to dream, it makes me feel like, first of all, it deludes me into thinking that there's any escape from being a target. There is no escape. There's no escape. And I'm tired of allowing the hope that there is escape from making me feel lesser than I am. I'm tired of that hope making me feel lesser than I'm supposed to be. There is no hope here. Hope had one foot out the door when I was born, and then the other foot came when gang stalking arrived, or when I became aware of it. Hope's gone. Hope abandoned me, so why am I holding on to it? Why am I trying to hold on to it for? For what? For what? All it ever did was stop me from seeing my own potential, and no, not even that. All it ever did was kept me at being potential Fabian and not full Fabian. That's what hope fucking did. You know what I mean? It stopped me from being who I was supposed to be. That's what hope actually fucking did. That's what my dreams did, because my hopes and my dreams relied on else. Somewhere else, someone else, anywhere else, anyone else, but here and but me. That's what hope does to you. Hope is the reason why we have gang stalking. Do you seriously think all these people wouldn't still be doing this if there wasn't the hope that their families could have better lives, even though that hope is redundant? Hope is what keeps them doing this. The hope that if they get me into a mental health hospital, they can go back to convincing themselves that they're good people. The hope that if I die, their nightmare is over. Because then they don't have to live double or triple lives anymore. Hope is what keeps them doing this. Hope is an addiction. that kills. Like drugs, like alcohol. Hope is an addiction that kills. So I choose not to hope. I have wasted so much of my life on that shit. I'm intelligent, mildly attractive with makeup on. Do you know what I mean? I'm intelligent, I'm talented, I'm mildly attractive with makeup on. I kind of have a cool personality. Not even kind of, I actually really like my own company, but I actually really like my own company, so I can't lie. Like, I do like my own company a lot, but like, you know, I'm mildly attractive, I'm intelligent, talented, my personality's cool, you know, I have great insight into people. There are things that I'm able to do if I just remove hope from the situation. There's potential there for something great without hope poisoning my shit. Without hope poisoning everything. I have the potential to actually do something. Take personal responsibility for once and not just relying on a hope and a prayer to make the world into what I want it to be. Take fucking action. That's another thing that hope prevents you from doing. Like I said before, it puts the onus of personal responsibility on society, on another person. Fight for yourself. Remove hope from the equation and see the world for what it is. There are things that you can do. You can be resourceful. Like I said before, maybe hope works with animals. But for human beings, an addiction to hope means death. It means destruction. It means that Luciferian thing of everything looking pretty to cover a dead earth. That is what hope means. So yeah, I've given up hope and I've given up all my dreams. And baby, I'm not saying I'm happier. I'm not saying I'm the happiest I've ever been. But it was so good for my soul to do that. It was so good for my soul. Now I can actually see what I actually have and work with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Give up hope. Well, I can't tell you to do that. But I'm going to do that. I'm giving up hope. My hope addiction. You know? Yeah. Maybe that's at the root of all my other addictions, you know, like sugar and internet and, you know, maybe that's at the root of all my other addictions. Maybe it's my addiction to hope that keeps me addicted to other things. I have an addictive personality, but, you know, that's just a brain chemical thing. I think the emotional root of addiction as a whole is the addiction to hope. You know? I want to kick that habit real quick. And the irony is that once I do, and I will, I'll actually get more done with my life. Looking forward to that, actually. So, now that that's out of the way. Okay, speaking of hope, I posted a couple of statuses online talking about this. And on the first post, I had a TI come through, basically insulting me and saying that what I said was bullshit. And truth be told, like, their reaction only proved that I was right anyway. So, you know, it's almost a moot point. And I did cuss that person out. I told them to go fuck themselves and have the life they deserve. Literally in those words. I said literally in those words. I said, fuck you and have the life you deserve. I said that. Don't regret it either. I don't regret it. Because, you know, at the end of the day, if you come around looking for smoke, you might catch a fire. I'm just saying. Okay? You come around looking for smoke, you might catch fire. I'm just fucking telling you. That's all it is. Don't come for me, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't understand what is behind a TI just basically snapping on the next person that happens to be in their path. I understand. The thing is, I've had TIs before responding to slights towards me and, you know, thinking I'm a perp or something, or, you know, I've had TIs do that. And whilst it is annoying to go through, I cannot in my heart of hearts say that I don't understand. You know, when you're being debilitated and you're having weapons fired on your head, fired at, sometimes that hope is all you have. And then somebody online, another TI online, comes online and tells you to abandon that, so you can't even have that. So it's like, listen, don't fucking come for me, but like, I get it. I really do. It's like I said before, when you're dealing with TIs who don't appear to have, you know, a logical reaction to things or an irrational reaction to things, imagine the fucking rate. You are literally being murdered. Literally being murdered in every single facet of your life. And it's not even enough that the perps murder you. They want to murder your name. As a targeted individual, imagine the fucking rage. So I'm not surprised that other TIs are going to come at me for basically going against what a lot of other TIs say. I'm not going to blame them for that. Come at me with disrespect, I'm going to fire back. That's the way I operate. But I'm not, I get it. I get it. I get it. When you're really sick because of everything that's been done to you, and you're debilitated and in pain all the fucking time, either psychologically or physically, because of what this program has done to you, you're going to be angry. And you're going to need someone to take it out on. And unfortunately, the way human beings work is that they usually take it out the most on the people closest to them. The TI community is basically like family at this point, and nobody hates like family. Because who the fuck else are you going to take it out on? You're fucking debilitated. You're in pain. Who are you going to take it out on? The people torturing you? Are you going to be able to even make it that far while people are debilitating you? So what else do you have apart from hope? What else can you rely on apart from hope when you're in that situation? Now, as for me, I want to abandon hope because it gets in the way of what I want to do. It gets in the way of my life. So I want to abandon hope because I feel like it gets in the way of my life. But that's me. That's me. That's not everybody else's story. And at the end of the day, the reason why I can say things like that is because even though I've been debilitated badly, even though, you know, I've had a lot of horrible things happen to me and they're still happening to me, that still pales in comparison to what some other TIs go through. And that you have to remember, there are TIs who don't have the welfare system that this country has. They don't have the facilities that this country has. They don't have the amenities, well, not the amenities, I shouldn't say that, that's insulting. But there are countries that don't have what we have. They don't have what we have. There are certain places in the world where your only means of survival is to literally pretend. And when you're a TI, you don't get to do that like everybody else does. You don't get to do that. Because literally all your information is laid bare and you're watched all the time. So you don't get that same luxury that non-perps have and non-TIs have. You don't get that luxury of hiding. Perps get to hide from everyone. They get to deceive everybody, including the people they're targeting. TIs cannot hide. We don't get that opportunity. And there are countries where pretending to be something you're not is literally your survival. I don't have to do that to survive because I live in a country with an excellent welfare system by comparison to the rest of the world. I live in a place with an excellent welfare system. And I live in a place where if something happens to any of my possessions, I can at least have police down here. And even if they don't investigate, I can log it. There are certain other places where you get robbed or you get beaten up. Nobody's talking. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that my situation isn't bad. I'm saying that when certain people come online and talk shit to other TIs, when you're dealing with that much rage, again, it's not like you can take it out on the perps. We don't know where the weapons are being fired from. We can only have rough estimates. What are we going to do? Go around to the person firing the weapons and beat their ass? We don't know where they are. And even if we did, how do we know for sure that we wouldn't end up being locked up for life under sectioning? So I get the anger. I get the anger. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't get it. And on top of that, again, I'm a TI online talking about the joy of hopelessness. And so, just saying those words, it just makes me feel like, just inside, it just feels like I'm being soothed. It just feels soothing to say, like, the joy of hopelessness. Like, oh my God. It, like, inside, it just feels like, the joy of hopelessness. I'm a TI online talking about the joy of hopelessness to TIs that only have hope to hold on to. Of course it's going to get someone upset. Of course it's going to make them feel, even more dejected than they already were. And of course they're going to lash out. So, as much as I'll fight back, like I said before, I get it. But if there's one thing that I would suggest to other TIs, do the pretending in-house. Don't do it out there. Don't do it out there. If you need to stand up to people from the outside, then stand up to them. Don't bring your anger home with you. Don't bring your anger to the TI community with you. If you want to talk about how you actually feel, then talk about it. But if you can, try not to attack each other. Try not to talk down to each other. Try not to be assholes to each other. Just try not to. Because we are all we have, realistically. And without the hope that we have anyone else but each other, who knows, it might make us act right. You know what I mean? We don't have our families. We don't have our friends. We don't have the same thing that perps have. Like I said, we don't get the luxury of pretending. That leaves us without a lot of options of people to hang out with. So we're better off just being kind, right? Better off being humans to one another, right? Not lizard people like the fucking perps, okay? I'm just saying, but no, I get it, man. I get it, man. This life is hard. And again, as a targeted individual, I have it easier than most. So I can't sit here in my heart of hearts and say, well, you're not applying yourself. You're not with the... Apply yourself with what? When you're being tortured to death? Apply yourself with what? What is there to talk about? But I stand on my square. I stand by what I said. I'm embracing hopelessness for as long as I can. For as long as I can get away with it. You know, because without hope, I can look at what's around me and I can see what it is that I can use in order to, you know, make myself happy and to make my life a little bit easier on me. You know, that's what I could do without hope. And you can do it without hope. Don't let anybody tell you different. But anyway, I gotta go. I've got readings to do today, so I will bid you good day. All right, you guys take it easy. Peace and blessings. I love you guys so much. And yeah, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I got my reading in March from Empress Justice Tarot, so go ahead and check that out. If you are non-Christian or if you are okay with tarot readings, go ahead and check that out. I actually created Empress Justice Tarot for you guys anyway. It used to be called Real Justice Tarot, but I created Empress Justice Tarot for you guys anyway. So go ahead and check that out. Show me some love. Show me some support if you can. You don't have to do it financially because we're all being financially abused out here. So yeah, show some support if you feel like it. And if you've made it this far, please let me know how you're doing, how things are going. But again, please keep it respectful. Please do not be presumptuous. Please do not be rude, okay? Like I said, all we have is each other. All right? I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye. Hold on. Let me get this thing out of the way. Yeah, I know the connection's slow, bitch. Thank you.